Today I'm sitting with Daniel, co-founder of PinMeTo, a platform that helps large brands manage their store locations across Google, Apple Maps, and other search engine platforms. He's a serial entrepreneur that has started over 15 companies and actually managed to get the highest investment ever recorded in Sweden's Dragon's Den. In this episode of Startup Fika, we talk about his first customers, what people misunderstand about his product, and why raising money too early can actually backfire. My name is Mohammed, this is Startup Fika, let's get into it. Today I got some kak with me, the Iraqi biscuits, and some tea. So tell me, Daniel, who you are, what you've done, and what's your story?
Oh, Jesus. I'm Daniel. Right now, I am one of the founders and also on the board of a company called PinMeTo. Before this, started around maybe, I don't know now, something between 10 and 15 companies. Some of them went where most companies goes, down under. Some of them successful, mostly within marketing, search technology, marketing technology, all. That's my space, more or less. Been doing it most of my life. I'm almost 50 years old now, so I've been doing this for a while. This company I've been with for 10 years now, so it's been a little bit longer time with this company than other companies from before.
Well, you don't look a day over 50. I think the entrepreneurial lifestyle is keeping you young. So tell me, what does PinMeTo does to a non-technical person? Well, how would you describe that?
In a simple way, PinMeTo is what we call a location marketing technology. We work only with what we call multi-location brands. So companies within retail like H&M with thousands of stores around the world. We can also more like local brands. In Sweden, we have ICA, which is the largest grocery chain. But all of our customers has one thing in common. They have a lot of physical location where they want people to visit. Most of the times they want to visit because they want to buy things, or at least like H&M wants people to come there and buy things from them. But in other cases, we also work a lot with healthcare and so on. So people really find where they should go when they go to a hospital or when they go to anything else with service kind of companies as well. Within that, we do what we call business listing, which is making sure just for H&M to make sure their opening hours is correct on all search platforms like Google, ChatGPT, Perplexity, Google Maps, Apple Maps, in-car navigation systems, and so on. Everywhere where people search for their stores for one reason or another. Just updating opening hours, it's not easy. So we built integrations to all the major search maps and social media platforms to update all the kind of business information about them, information where they are, and so on. And up on that, we also build a lot of tools that you can handle reviews at scale. So handling local reviews for thousands of stores is also complex if you don't have a tool that can handle that. So it's more or less like a marketing and search technology platform for large multi-location brands. We've been doing this for about 10 years now. 10 years in,
and what made you start PinMeTo?
Actually, because all the other companies, this is the boring answer, and the answer no one should have when they start a company. All the other companies I started on my own with my own money and so on. So I want to understand a little bit more raising money, VC capital, and all of that. So I want to be able to take company, raise money, see where I can go with that, see how that space is, how it is to build a company with other people's money involved as well, and other people involved outside the ones you employ in the company. So that was actually the reason. Then I had a few ideas from other companies from before, and I started with two friends that were developers. I've been writing code a long time ago, but I'm more like the sales guy. So we started it together, two developers and me. And the first idea wasn't the one we did today, because we want to build a technology that picked up information about locations from Google, Facebook, and so on, to build tools for the tourism industry to use to find these locations on these platforms. But 10 years ago, and this wasn't very built up. So the information about the locations, the places on these networks and map services was really bad. So we couldn't really build that idea back then. So okay, what if we just switch this and we make sure that Google Maps and Apple Maps and social media has better information about locations in general? Who would be willing to pay for that? Maybe no one. But then we thought maybe it would be interesting for these kind of larger companies with a lot of locations to make sure that people actually finds them. And it was. And then we kind of built on that since.
And how long time did it take to go from the first version of whatever you pitched until actually landing the right pitch and getting the investment?
About a year, I would say. So we did a few different things. We actually made some money from the first idea as well. Sold it to a few tourism in the industries and so on. And then we ended up in Dragon's Den in Sweden for some reason or another.
Oh.
Yeah, and I pitched that idea. And we got an investment. I think it's still today the biggest investment in Swedish Dragon's Den. So it's not much compared to the US and so on, but they're only allowed to invest up to 2 million Swedish SEK.
And that's what you got?
Yeah. Wow. And so then we went away. We had a business trip planned already because we're all surfers. So we were going to Barbados for 4 weeks to really see, to work on the product, to be alone.
In Barbados.
We raised that money and then we said to the investor, we're going to Barbados next week. But they were fine with it. And then we came back and then we had this other idea. So I'm really thankful that the investor, Lars Wingefors, who invested back then, is still with us today and trusted us to build the company that we build today. And I think he will be very happy one day when he gets returned. So, yeah.
Yeah, 100%. And do you think the investor chose the idea or the founders?
Founders. But also the idea, because he back then, Lars owned, I think the name was Game Store. So he owned a chain of stores. So he understood from that.
So we could find your episode on Dragon's Den Sweden if we looked it up?
I don't know. It's a while. So I don't know. Probably somewhere on YouTube or something. I don't know.
Amazing. All right. What do most people get wrong about your problem?
What they mostly get wrong, and this is mostly from our customers as well, even if they're very educated on what they're doing, they think still, a lot of them, that they can't do anything about it. It's Google fixes this or Apple fixes this, or because these big companies, they fix this, but they don't. The only real truth about locations is the ones that actually owns and handles the location, about exactly where it is, when their opening hours are, how are they open around Christmas, what kind of handling the reviews for these locations. Everything is handled and owned on a local level, more or less. And we try to build it in a way so even if you work centrally and you are the head of marketing at a big company like H&M or IKEA or whatever, you understand what's going on a local level as well. And you can handle it if you want to, or you can distribute it to other people to handle different locations and different problems within those locations within marketing. So we built kind of platform that we try to streamline from a central organization how to handle a lot of local marketing and local search efforts.
Oh, very, very interesting. And now that I'm thinking about myself, it does make sense. Only the locals should know how the business actually operating, the opening hours and everything. And looking back at your maybe first journey or this journey, you've talked about how you've already sold in the beginning. How was it getting your first customer? How did you get that?
In this case with PinMeTo, we went out. I always go local first. So I go as close as I can. So I found that I had a friend who knew the owner. I live in Malmö in Sweden. So Lund is close by, another city next by. And the founder of Fitness 24/7, the gym chain, lived there. So I just took a fika with him. And told him about this and asked him if we can do just try it out with him. You don't need to pay anything. We also had Lars, the investors, Jane, and a few others, and can we try this? And we tried it, and then when they saw it actually works, a lot of manual work behind the scenes though back then to make it work. Then I have to ask what would you be willing to pay, and then we kind of started building from there, so to say.
So you start with a question, what would you be willing to pay? You didn't come with a straight price even.
I don't like to do that in the beginning because that early on, you also need customers that are willing to take all the problems that you will have on the way and help you out to fix them as well. Because there was a lot of things back then for us, for example, with Google, and Meta wasn't a thing then, it was only Facebook and so on. They didn't even have their own technology in place to handle this.
Oh, yeah.
So we needed to have a lot of discussions with them, how to do this and so on. And then sometimes we needed to bring our first customers in so they could explain to the large network social media what the problems they had and so on. So we had a few early adopter kind of people within the customer base we want to reach and ask them, we can do this for free for a while. We want to, of course, figure out in the end what you're willing to pay, but we also ask you to be involved so we can figure out if this is a good idea or not. So we can fail this fast if it's not.
Yeah, and from what I'm hearing, you're a big fan of build first, sell later, or no, sell first and build later, right?
Yeah. Always. If you don't have any paying customers, you only have an idea, not a business.
And when did you figure this concept out, that this is the go-to?
A long time ago. I started my first company when I was 15, selling skateboards and snowboards back then. And I had a lot of friends that, oh, can I pay you next month? No. So
that's the right way.
Yeah, I've always been like that. Yeah. It's also the first time I was 40 when the first time I built a company with, others' money. So if you build your own company, you don't have a company until you have nothing. You don't even have salary. You cannot do anything without a customer. So I think it comes in my DNA, starting a company more or less.
Yeah, just some people like to do it, and you got to stick to your guns, right?
Yeah, and the last 10 years also been 10-15 years has been ridiculous when it comes to raising money. We were at an incubator named Mink here in Malmö in the beginning. I've been there with the company before, and it's only in those kind of environments, it's a lot about raising money. And I'm a big fan of not doing that until you figure it out how to make money, because you will have,
you want more leverage, right?
And you will only be very diluted in the end. Your ownership and everything if you take in money at the low valuation in the beginning before you have customers anyways.
And what did those early customer conversations teach you about what people really cared about in PinMeTo?
You need to put yourself in their situation. What's their problems? And the nice thing in the beginning of a company, that's why I love it so much. I'm really looking forward to start another one, but now I'm still occupied here for a while. Is that you need to put yourself in that position where your customer are. And it's not necessarily that your idea flies in the beginning, but you will see if there are other problems they might have that you can figure out for them. And you might be able to figure something else out as well. And the journey with PinMeTo, we figure new things out by being very close to the customer. Oh, maybe we can fix this as well. And that's why we have products to upsell as well, because we figure out other problems that we can fix, because we are, it's kind of what we do, but a little bit different. Okay, let's move into that as well. And the only way to learn if that has a value for the customer is to talk to them and be involved with them and understand if it's a pain enough so they want to pay for it, to get rid of it. More.
Definitely. And how have your monetization plan changed as you grew?
Not so much, actually, because we decided from the beginning to be a software as a service company. So, charging monthly, yearly, pay as you go. So we started out like that and decided that that's the business model we want. We never want to charge anything by the hour, because it's a huge risk that you end up as a consultant agency very early on, because you want to solve everything for the first customers, and then they come with everything to you. So you also need to be very strict with what you want to solve for them, so you can scale it to all the other customers or most of the other customers in your customer base, because otherwise the SaaS model doesn't work. So I think we decided early on. Yeah, we decided early on that what we build now needs to be scalable to a lot of similar customers that we can sell it to.
And how was the pricing change? Like, did it start more customizable for each kind of client, or did you just, this is what we sell now and we'll increase it once we get more and more interest?
Customized in the beginning, of course, because we just wanted customers in. Sometimes they say, oh, we're willing to pay this, we're willing to pay that. But we had kind of the similar model. Since we're working with locations, we kind of based our pricing on cost per location. And then, of course, if they have 10,000 locations, the cost per location goes down. But the total, of course, revenue goes up. Then a customer with 50 locations, the cost per location is higher. But it's also different from industry to industry. Some industries like car dealerships, it's a lot for them. When they sell a car, it's a lot of money. They earn more per person coming through the door. Then maybe we work with a lot of like post boxes, Vinted, PostNord, companies like that. The cost per location isn't that high, but the number of locations is.
Definitely.
It's different from
Super
different
interesting.
industries.
So what's been the proudest moment or breakthrough that you've had as a founder?
I don't know. There's a lot of small ones, and I don't know. Since we want to raise money, like Dragon's Den was a big thing. That we actually it was. I felt a little bit, was it that easy? But then after we raised those money, it wasn't that easy anymore. So that of course in the beginning was a big thing, because we decided very early on that we want to have like angel investor, we want to have seed money, we want to do all this. So getting that on board quite early and fast, that was a fun moment. It was really something I never done before as well, which I think is usually what you remember. Those things that was new to you, that you learned through the process. That was like new learnings in life.
And would you recommend people to try the same path out, trying to get other people? No.
Would have raised money way later if I knew what I know today. But since we decided on it, I would have built traction. I would have figured out the right business idea. We pitched another idea and took investment on early on. So no, I would not do that. I would have waited. I would have struggled a little bit longer and fighting for customers, and had a good customer base, good market fit, and revenue to bring to the investors before I raise money. I would only raise to scale now, not to build.
Lovely. You got some great advice. Now that we're wrapping up, I have a question that I usually ask at the end. What's a question that you wish more people would ask you?
Oh, that's a tough one. I wish a lot of, especially startup people, would ask me, what is your best advice to get my first 20 customers?
Really?
I wish they would ask me that. Because get one is one thing. Getting the first 20 is a bigger, broader question that sparks like a big discussion usually with the startups. And a lot of people that starts companies, if they are not coming, directly from a long history of doing sales in their life, they don't really understand how hard that is. How much you need to work on it. It's a lot more work.
What would your advice be then if someone had asked you that?
Spend your time here. Building a product is easy compared to this. That's my advice. And there's a lot of people, with a great product idea, and some great developers that start the companies, and then they miss out on it, and they fall short, even if they have a great product, because they don't have the mindset, or they don't put the time and effort to get the mindset, or get a co-founder with the mindset to go to market with their great ideas. So there's a lot of great ideas that falls flat too early, I think, because of that.
Definitely. That was amazing advice. And now for the last question, why did you choose to be an entrepreneur?
I don't know. It comes from school, I guess. Already there. I have a really hard time having a boss. I think that's the thing. Someone comes to me to tells me to do something inside me just decides to do the opposite, just to be, I don't know. I just need to create what I think so. That's my conclusion now. And it's not a good thing necessarily in life, because I can be a horrible person to be around sometimes because I'm stubborn.
Well, for the past 30 minutes here, you've just been lovely.
So yeah, let's hang out. Let's hang out a few days and maybe you change your mind.
All right, Daniel, that was all the questions that I've had. Is there anything that you want to promote or ask me or pitch maybe?
I just really appreciate it, and I really like when young people like you do these kind of things, because I think it's a great way for you to build out your own network, and people like me love to do these things. And it's great that you give us the possibility to share. It's a great thing. So well done.
Yeah, it's been my pleasure. Thank you so much, Daniel, and thank you guys for following another episode of Star Fika. See you in the next one.